Look at that. Right? You can see. Right, look at that. So if you want your tips to look like glass, then go ahead and start that over again, because I feel that it wasn't fair. Like, it was super blurry, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the form on. That was weird. Every time I tried to zoom in, I could not. It was like really, really choppy. It was crazy. So you can see I'm just getting the form on tight to the free edge. And then what I want to be able to do is when I'm getting a bead, I'm literally going to bounce. I'm going to get something wet. And because I'm working with speed, what I could do is I could set it down and then use the tip of the brush and just lightly kind of tuck it up to the edge. And then as the product starts to run, what I'm going to do is use the side of my brush just to kind of slide it up. This way, what you're going to be able to do, you can see the clarity of the clear, right? Like, that's what you want to be able to do. You don't want to over pat it. What you want to be able to do is allow it to self-level so that you're going to be able to build really tight glass nails. If you have to stretch it out, then you could actually use the side of the brush or the body of the brush just to kind of brush it out. But what I'm trying to do is just create a basic platform to work off of. Okay. Now, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to take that glitter. For those of you guys that saw what I did, I'm not going to go through the whole process of doing it again, but I actually made this glitter. It looks just like that. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay that glitter right in between the natural nail and the enhancement. So right here, just to kind of conceal the natural nail. Okay. So I'm just going to leave that blob right there. I'm going to just lightly kind of poke up into the body to make it look like it's kind of fading into the body. I want to try to create a natural ombre. And then whatever is left down below, then what I'm going to do is just lightly kind of pull that through, right? Just kind of jab at it so that it looks like it's kind of pulling through that glass tip. But I'm really trying to mask the natural nail. So we're trying to create a natural ombre between the glass free edge and the body. Okay, so I'm going to continue getting I need a little bit more. I'm just going to kind of conceal this side right here. I don't want to build this up too thick. So I'm getting real small beads just to kind of hide or mask the natural nail, because I didn't create a really opaque mix. Okay. So right there, right, you can see from the side profile, I didn't really build anything up. Just wanted to focus on trying to conceal that. You could do this with any color, which is really cool. Okay, so I want to go through the thought process of when I'm doing my overlay. When I'm actually capping with clear, and it doesn't matter what design you're actually doing. When I set it down to this point right here, I want it to be able to level. Okay, so as it's leveling down this way, when it gets down to this point here and here, it has to naturally level, not just into the cuticle area, but these 2 points right here. And I'm going to be able to do that by just lightly tucking it in, okay? When it gets to this point, I'm not going to sit here and do this. I'm going to brush it forward. So if it starts to slide this way, you can bring it up and then use the tip of the brush to brush it forward. So watch. I'm going to get a large enough bead, right? I'm going to wait a few seconds, and then I'm going to set it down, and then I'm immediately going to touch. Look at this, slide up, and then I can literally pull here. And then the other side, I could do the same thing. I can kind of slide it up, and then I pull from the side. So what ends up happening when I'm pulling from the side, it brings everything up. You can start to see how the bead really flows into its own upper arch. I don't have to use the body of the brush to kind of form it. all I'm doing is kind of brushing it into shape, right? So that I'm able to overlay the complete design. But you can see from the side profile that I'm trying to create this all the way around, right? While I'm making that really beautiful upper arch through this point right here. I'm not trying to force it down. If I touch here and then start feathering from the front end, this will naturally shape by itself. All right, so you can see that I'm missing product right here. The tip goes all the way to this point. All I have to do is fill it from here to here. Okay, so I'm going to get another bead. And then what I can do is I could go backwards and then I can brush it up into the body, and I want to be able to do the same thing. I want to be able to just kind of hold the sides and let it kind of run down to the point where we need, right? I'm just literally trying to guide the product because I don't want to, and then I could literally brush it forward. Literally just kind of brush it to the edge. And then once it starts to set, then I can start to use the body of the brush. I don't want to start attacking it. If I start attacking it, what ends up happening is you're going to inject a few bubbles into the surface. We want this to be as clear as we possibly can. Okay, so that's how we're going to be able to create that glitter fade with that glass look. This is really a killer design for the spring. I know wedding season's obviously going to be in effect. I really do believe that you're going to be able to get some really killer nails with this look as well. So we're going to let that dry. You can see everything is start to shape. You can see the upper arch is all the way built out. My lower arches are completely even from the side. This is not going to take a lot of work when I'm filing around the edges. So this is what you want to be able to practice when you're actually sculpting. The time it's going to take before this actually sets is probably, I would say you need about 3 or 4, I'd say about 3 minutes before you could actually pinch. And the area that you're going to be pinching is right here. Okay, right here where the natural nail is. That way you're putting pressure, right, so that the natural C curve comes all the way out. Because I built the free edge first, this obviously is a little bit set on the bottom. So when I remove my form, as you can see, that is completely done. And then what I'm going to be able to do is I'm just going to be able to mold the shape. But the level of clarity is amazing. I haven't even filed this, and I want to be able to show you guys something crazy. If I was to take oil, right, and if I was to put a little bit of oil here and a little bit of oil here, right, at the moment, right, it looks like you can really kind of see through that tip. But when I file and buff this into shape, dude, it turns glass. It's unbelievable. Let's give that a couple of seconds. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make sure, I just wanna give you guys an idea. You wanna make sure that you're putting all your stuff away, okay? You have to, because you don't want, you notice that I'm actually keeping my brush inside my dish. I had a student ask me yesterday how I clean my brush. A student of mine yesterday said that she was told to use pure acetone. And I'm telling you, if you use pure acetone, right, your brush is gonna look like this. So don't use pure acetone to clean your brush, okay? What you wanna be able to do is, if you have to clean your brush, there is monomer inside here. Remember to mix in, right? You just need probably like a 50-50 mix, right? Or just a little bit of solvent inside your monomer. And then what you can do is you can use that really to kind of clean your brush. I'm just gonna rest this here. I'm gonna fold this over while that nail is drying. And then what I'll do is I go through the process of actually, you see I'm actually cleaning out my brush, bringing it to a nice point. If you do this after each service, then your brush is going to be nice and really soft and supple. And that's what you want to be able to create, or basically do after each service that you that you guys execute. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right to this. I want to be able to show you the level of clarity. So you can already start to see, like I haven't even started filing, right? And as it dries out, the level of clarity is like absolute glass. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to really start filing around my edges to kind of bring it to that point. I'm rounding it down, right, to create that really nice kind of almond shape. My lower arches, I want to come from underneath. I'm getting it from the lowest point, as you guys can see, and I want to be able to file up. So keep it contact parallel to the nail as I file all the way up. I'm going to be able to bring that lower arch completely even all the way to the very, very tip. I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Turn your clip, you can see how it's all hanging low. Again, parallel to the finger. And then basically you're going to keep contact with that lower arch as you file all the way up and in, right? And that way it's absolutely flawless, coming all the way out from there to the edges. Now, what we're left with is obviously just filing in the upper arch, and we're going to be able to do this by using our electric file. Okay, so boom, I want to bring this all the way out, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn on my electric file to about 11,000 RPMs. And then what I am left with, let me just make sure that we bring this a little bit forward. You can see from the side, I don't really have that much to file. Going to touch the edge, going to file through the upper arch, right here at the tip, boom. So you can, you can start to see, I'm starting from here as I'm filing all the way through, right, all the way to the tip, right? And that way we're able to keep that beautiful upper arch. I'm looking down the barrel of the nail. I'm going to be able to file down in one direction towards myself, one direction towards myself. This is going to be really, really sharp. You can start to see the C curve come into play, right? Nice and even. Everything is even from side to side. And then what I want to be able to do is go around the cuticle area in one direction all the way around. This is going to taper it in and then follow through the whole entire body with your electric file, okay? You're going to use your electric file to reduce bulk. And then once you're done doing that, then I want to be able to use my hand file to go around the perimeter of the nail just to blend everything in. All right, I'm going to follow through on both sides. And then last but not least, what I want to be able to do is look from this profile. Let me just bring this, there we go, here. And this is tune-up, so I want to be able to look from client profile. I'm going to make a peace sign rested in between my fingers and then literally follow through from side to side to make sure that it's going to be completely even. Nice almanetto shape. Right, this is going to be, we want to try to make that as flawless as we possibly can. Okay, so last but not least, what we want to be able to do is just kind of buff out the edges. I like to kind of file finish. Don't see one here, which is not a problem. It's all good. You can see the level of clarity. Let's go ahead and clean this up. But talk about glass. Watch this. So what you can do, let's just do this. So all of you guys that are learning, make sure that your gel tops don't chip. Just run a little bit of protein bond along the edges, right? And then what I'll do to make this really glass-like is turn the nail upside down first, take your gel top, and then just lightly kind of paint the underneath, okay? And then when you paint the surface, watch this. Dude, this is when the tip ends up becoming like glass. Look at that. Right? you could see. All right, look at that. So if you want your tips to look like glass, then that's what you want to be able to really, really create. Okay? You can see there's not, it's so clear. And that's what you want to be able to recreate. But just using that glitter to kind of mask that free edge, creating that glitter fade. It's almost an ombre between the body and the natural, between that the ombre between the natural nail and the glass tip. Cool look for spring. Want to be able to show you guys how to achieve this look. Anyways, thank you. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on Instagram. If you guys have any questions about classes, make sure to hit up Ray Bracamontes here at Home Office. He'll get you guys information on upcoming online classes. Really appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day. Peace.